Hello, magical soul, and welcome to the Awake Revolution podcast. I'm Marie Fleming Grant, and in this podcast, I'm going to be sharing insights, perspectives, stories, and tips guiding you to drop the baggage, wake up the real you, and revolutionize it all: how you think, how you feel, and how you create, so that you can be all of who you came here to be. Hello, and welcome back to the podcast. I took a little short break in recording, but I have a few things I am excited to share with you. And I was pondering this episode, and I was about to do a podcast, but it got cancelled at the last moment. So I thought, let me just do a video. And so I thought I'll put it here on the YouTube channel because I haven't done that in a while, and also I can repurpose this as a podcast episode. So you may be listening on YouTube or watching on YouTube or listening on Spotify. So welcome back. And in today's episode, I am excited to share with you some details about the first clearing session that I had earlier this year, because what I intend to do on this channel here is to really start showing you some of the things that have been happening in the sessions, Soul Center, Healing Hypnosis, Clearing Sessions, what's been happening in those sessions, what I've been discovering, what I've been personally experiencing in myself and others, so that I can share it with you. Because one of the things that is so important is for us to be able to see, to really, really see what is happening, truly happening on this planet, that was very hidden for, let's say, thousands of years. And we are in this current time, a very exciting time to be on the planet, where we are starting to shine light now on a lot of the unseen. So for those of you who have been tuning into my podcast before, you would have heard me in the last few episodes share a little bit about some of the plot twists on my mission. And just in case you haven't tuned into those, I was basically describing how I've been here for quite a few years now, activating people, helping people with their healings and clearings. And this year was a great plot twist. I had not planned it, but one thing led to another, and it led me into this incredible training in this modality connected to my team that I already channel. And it's taken me down this path of doing a full-on entity removals, clearings, removing AI, removing dark energies, removing earthbound attachment, spirits, so many different things that come into our energy field that most humans have no idea exist. So in the last few podcast episodes, I've been sharing about, some of how AI works, some of, the ways that humans have been getting hijacked. And really my mission is to shine a light and share more about this, amongst the other things that I do as well, because I write books and I activate people and I work with them on strategy and moving forwards on their mission and all these beautiful magical pieces. But I felt very called to start sharing more of this content. So I thought, let me just start with the first clearing that I had. I like to walk the path first before I expect any of my clients to do it. So I thought I would, in this video, just talk you through. I have notes here from the very first session that I received when I had entities, energies removed from my energy field, to give you a bit of an idea as to what am I talking about when I'm talking about energies and attachments, and also why does it matter, and how that's applicable to you and to all of us. And I know that those of you following my podcast, tuning into my work in general, you are all, even those of you who don't necessarily know it yet, but most of you do, you're all some level of star seeds, light workers, way showers, impact makers. You're very much here to work on your own mission in terms of your own ascension, but also you're here to impact humanity in your own unique way. And there's so many ways we can do it. So I thought if I just take you through some of what has happened with me in the very first session, and I've got some notes here. So just to give you an idea, and I find this stuff fascinating. And just before we dive in, if this is the first time you're listening to me, when I'm talking about entities and dark energies, you will know very soon that I do not talk with any fear. I'm very comfortable talking about light and dark. I've had many experiences in my life, so I want you just to relax and to know that when we're talking about these things, sometimes there's an energy behind certain words that we use. I know a lot of people don't like the word entity. I deliberately use it because I'm trying to put some light around it. And the more that we are able to see and understand, we do not need to go into fear. And I can assure you, I've been doing this work now for the last few months intensely. I've done hours of training. I've done hours and hours of sessions. These sessions are 4 hours long. I've done so many of them now, and I am in a very high frequency. Hopefully, you can feel that. So, by talking about this, it does not make us drop our frequency. By having these conversations, it does not, lower our vibration or attract and magnetize it to us, which many spiritual circles do tell us, which is a load of bullshit. Actually, what it is doing is the opposite. It will empower us, it will empower you, and it will really open your eyes to maybe some of the ways that you've been stuck, that despite the amount of healings that we've all done, the dedication to our growth, we still find ourselves very stuck on this path sometimes. So this is my intention. So I'm going to run through just a few things that were removed from me by a beautiful fellow practitioner of this work, Nina. And she very helpfully wrote up a note of my session, because we didn't record that particular one. But after this, I will be sharing clips. So stay tuned if you are interested on my YouTube channel, The Awake Revolution with Marie Fleming Grant. I will be sharing clips of real sessions, so you can really get a sense of this work. And it's fascinating, and it will definitely help you in your awareness and your frequency. Okay, so in these clearing sessions, they are done under hypnosis. So we go into a beautiful, relaxed state. And I've been doing hypnotherapy for about 10 years, 11 years now. So this is like a deepened version of that. So we go into a deep state, and we do some different techniques to help us connect into the body. And with the help of the practitioner, we can kind of detect some spots in the body, some places in the body in our energy centers that don't feel quite right. And because we're under hypnosis, it is a lot easier to be able to connect with that. So if I said to you right now, scan your body and tell me if there are any parts in your body that there are energies that don't belong there, you may be able to detect, because some people are connected in that way. But majority of these energies are quite hidden, and they're very intelligent, they're very deceptive, so they have a way of hiding in our systems in a way that we can't detect. So the hypnosis part is incredible, because it allows us to go deeper into ourselves, and we can really start to see things that we didn't see before. And also, when I do these sessions on people, even if, and there are times when these entities and energies are very intelligent, extremely intelligent, they will still hide so the person doesn't feel them. But even so, because I channel my beautiful divine team of Arcturians and angels, they will, and I can channel and receive it in, they will be able to show me which parts of the body are needing the clearing. And also, I'm starting now to develop an ability to be able to see and sense when these energies are there in the body. So that skill is being very heightened for me at the moment, the more I do this work. So this is how it is. So everything's done under hypnosis, and we discover some incredible things. So let me dive in. So the first thing, one of the things that was removed from my energy field was an AI program with some human consciousness connected. What that means, and this is the kind of, I guess, the sick and twisted nature of some of these dark energies, we have had a lot of experiments going on. I know a lot of you know this, with humans and trafficking and all sorts of depraved things that we're not going to get into in this particular episode. But there has been a lot of human experimentation. And what we're finding in these sessions is that they have been taking aspects of human consciousness and merging it with AI. And the reason that that is being done is because when it's mixed with human consciousness, we won't necessarily detect it when it starts to go through our energy field and attach into our body. If it was just AI on its own, a lot of us, because we are so conscious now, and you may even feel this, sometimes you can pick things up, and you know that there's something you've picked up, maybe from scrolling on social media or being on your devices for too long. So we are getting a lot better able now to detect AI. So they obviously know this. So they've started to, for a long time now, fused it with human consciousness. So it's a really good way of infiltrating our system without us realizing. So when we remove these energies, just so you're aware, we will always, the angelic realm will do this. When we remove anything from the body, they will always disentangle the human consciousness and help that human consciousness back into the light. And this is one of my favorite things about this work, because we are really assisting many souls. We're assisting the planet, and we're allowing energies to move back into the light, which is where everything comes from. Apart from AI does not belong in this universe. That is from somewhere else entirely. So then we relocate it back there. So AI program with human consciousness connected, and it was found in my thighs and in my hands. And the AI itself, once we were able to tap into it, because it doesn't have, the AI isn't sort of nefarious, it is just a program. So once you connect to it, it will just answer you. And it revealed that it was also embedded throughout the entire physical body. So we netted the energy, we removed it using the ways that we use. But what's really interesting is when we find out why it's been placed there, and this is where it concerns you, why it's been placed there. This one was there to inhibit the capacity to receive abundance and wealth. And this was an area that had been really inconsistent for me in my business, doing what I do, being at the level I'm at with the skills and the clients, and the people that connect with my work. The money and the wealth and abundance part was always a tricky path, and this is something that affects probably the majority of, to some level, of light workers, starseeds, those of you who are here to do really powerful things in the world. And so what this program, this AI program, had said, it said, if it comes, it must go. So if abundance and wealth comes, which is what I have experienced, it must go. And the reason being, it was repelling this from my energy field, so that I didn't have the resources and the true levels, which are big levels required for my mission, to be able to move forwards. So a lot of us are being targeted to have these levels of abundance turned down. And this is one of the areas that I really love to talk about, because it's been such a part of my journey. And I am here to teach about money, wealth, and abundance from a higher consciousness place. So, of course, I've walked the path of, having colorful experiences in that area. There will be a book at some point later. But this is a real subject which I wanted to touch on with you as well, to show that it was in my field. Most likely it's in a lot of your fields. So it's just being aware of that. The reason it's so good to be aware of it is because when we know that these are energies or programs placed in our energy field by those dark forces that want to basically stop the light forces from moving forwards, it can help us save a lot of time, money, energy, and sanity from chasing things that aren't the thing that's going to help us move forward on the mission. This is one of my big things. So many people, I've done it myself, spent thousands of pounds and dollars on programs, courses, coaches, hyped up stuff, all well-meaning stuff, majority of it, I'm sure, but it's taking you away from the actual foundation. And a lot of this for us as starseeds, light workers, way showers, we will have these infiltrations. It's just part of what is happening. So my mission to shine a light on that. So I just wanted to share what was coming up for me. So I had this great big juicy AI program of bullshit attached to me, affecting my abundance levels, which made so much sense to me. Second thing that we removed in that session was, interestingly, a silver square energy, almost like a box connected to the third eye. And this was to restrict psychic abilities, affect my eyesight, and this was in a physical sense and psychically. So obviously we've got physical eyes where we're seeing, and psychically where we're seeing beyond the physical. And this silver square energy was also, this one was also an AI. We often see devices in the body as boxes or squares or kind of attached things. They come in different forms, but this one's very common from what I've seen so far. So this was connected into the third eye, and it was also, it was turning down the volume of being able to convey my true essence and my voice in my mission. So some of you have followed me for years that I've been online. Some of you are new to me, but I've often had people say to me, like, you should have more followers, or you should be more known for what you do. And I bless those people that have shared that with me, because sometimes I really needed to hear that message on my mission. But there was definitely something where I started to notice after I'd got through, being more at ease with being visible and sharing and speaking out. There seemed to be this block. There seemed to be this strange block in turning my voice down. So I wasn't speaking up the way that I wanted. I wasn't, maybe the power in my voice wasn't there the way that I felt that it should be. And it was coming out maybe more like a mouse, like a mouse-like voice, and it was still courageous to speak out, but it wasn't my true volume. And if you want any evidence of that, check out my YouTube channel. Go back. I've got like 400 and something videos on there, despite having a fairly small following at this point, which is starting to grow already. But look back at my videos from, I don't know, 2015, 2016, where I first started, and you'll hear a difference in my voice. So yeah, there's definitely a change there. And since this was removed, I have felt another sense of being able to, record these types of podcast episodes, talk about the subjects that I really want to talk about now. I'm not concerned now about trying to dim my message down for fear of, not upsetting people. Everything I share is from the heart, but I don't need to concern myself with people who just roll their eyes at me and don't get it. So there was this whole turning down the volume of my message, which we removed. I was quite happy to let that one go. Of course, as a channel and a speaker and a writer and someone who's here to express just as much as I am to assist with healing and channelings and activations. So I feel that many of you listening will also have an element of this. If you feel that you are, you've got any issues around being able to see, being able to connect with your true psychic abilities, your starseed abilities, and being able to, convey that true essence of who you are. And this one, also worth mentioning, was connected to the throat, which makes sense, right? So we had this silver square box in the third eye, and it was connected to the throat, massively affecting my expression. And I've got to say, since I've done these clearings, I just feel a lot more free in my, not just speaking, but it's any form of expression, channeling, writing, yeah, all of that good stuff. What else did we have? We had, oh yeah, I had some residual energy. It was this kind of black, heavy energy in my arms and shoulders. And it was what it was doing in there. I didn't have any problems in my arms and shoulders, but this is where it's interesting. I had no problems with this part of my body, but this is where the energies just were. So they were located in my arms and shoulders, but they were affecting me in other ways. And this was there to consume my physical energy. And this one was a sophisticated and intelligent network, utilizing people around me. So this was an interesting one. A lot of what I've been discovering in my own sessions and sessions with clients is that some of these dark energies, there are different levels. So some of them are just kind of pesky, sort of annoying dark energies that, you ask them a question under hypnosis and they kind of reveal everything, and they're not maybe that intelligent, but they are doing, they are wreaking havoc. We remove them. There are definitely different levels of dark energies and networks, and the ones that I typically have experienced myself in my real life years ago, which is another story for another time, some more recently, and in my client sessions, is because of the nature of who I work with and my own nature. And we are people who are really here to ascend. We're on an ascension path. We're here to anchor light in. We are really here to assist the planet on our mission. So because of the nature of that's what we're doing, I will typically find these more higher level intelligent network of dark energies. Again, nothing to go into fear about, but it's just understanding that there are different hierarchies and there are different levels. So these ones are very sophisticated and intelligent. They're also very arrogant, and I've had lots of them come up in sessions where they've said things like, you can remove me or you can remove us, but we're all around you. We are working through other people. So on that one, I just want to share with you that if you notice that you have maybe reached a certain frequency, hold on one second, my voice is going to go. Try not to cough directly in the mic. I hope you didn't hear that too loud. Hold on, I'll just get some water. That's better. So you are, if you ever feel like you're in a high frequency, but there are people around you sometimes that push your buttons, or they seem to say the exact thing that's going to pull your frequency down or really cause you to be aggravated, just want you to just start being aware of this, start being more savvy. And if you start to understand that majority of humans are being impacted by entities, energies, AI attachments, whatever, at different levels, unless we've cleared it, or unless we are actively choosing to clear it, most humans are under the influence. So if you start to see that, even in your loved ones, and you can start to say, ooh, they've just said something that's really pushed a button, do what you need to do, go away, ground, breathe, vent, punch a pillow, journal, EFT, whatever you need to do to move the energy. But if you can start to see, this has really helped me, start to see that, hang on, there's probably some stuff working through other people. Sometimes they just place like thought forms around us, and unless we've trained ourselves, I'm sure you're going to know people, loved ones around you that don't do that kind of thing. They're going to be easily influenced just by some thought impulses. So if you just start to become a bit savvy, and it's changed the game for me. And as soon as I'm in a high frequency and I know that something's come up through someone else, I remember this session, and I remember how they're very arrogant, and they say, we work through people around you. So once we know that, we will not be as susceptible. We're still going to get our, triggers, and sometimes people might make you want to cry or get upset. But if you just have that in the back of your mind, it's going to really serve you, and it's going to help you really start to see with different eyes now. So we do not fall for it in the way that we used to. All right. I used to get very triggered if I went into shops and I'd get someone really rude behind the counter, like serve me doing something, or just snappy, or it was just the specific things that I really can't stand. And I noticed that when I wasn't so conscious about it, it would drop my frequency and I'd get really annoyed, and I started to think, oh, I don't like humans, and oh, what's the point? And when I started to realize, hang on, no, bless that soul, they're under the influence. I mean, I'm not saying that everybody, it's always that, because some people are assholes, they just are. But even beyond that, they are assholes sometimes, but know that they are being infiltrated, they are being affected. And if they weren't affected, and if they weren't hurt, and they were fully healed, they wouldn't be assholes. They would be connected to themselves and their true nature, the true soul essence. So really, when we come at it from that place, can we really judge anyone, right? That's a whole other kind of topic. So this is what I've kind of kept in my mind since I've been hearing this repeatedly. Yes, we're going to remove them. Yes, they're going to still be popping up through other ways, but as soon as we're onto them, we turn down their power. They know this as well, because they're very aware of this, and they're not loving it. All right, so don't worry. This is what we're doing. This energy as well, some of this black energy that was in my system, was a residual energy from my ME, chronic fatigue syndrome, that I had for quite a few years back now, where I was housebound. I was debilitated in my energy. For those of you who don't know that illness, it was as if someone had unplugged me from any kind of energy, so my body didn't work. Everything went into dysfunction, and I had no energy. So I was really struggling over years. I lost my legal career. I had to leave it, which turned out okay. I do this now. But I had to walk away from that. I lost money. I lost all my income, my status that I had kind of built over the years. And that was my self-esteem back then, because I hadn't gone any further than that. And I lost everything, and it was a real traumatic time. And I did have those low points of not wanting to be here. So in this clearing session that I had, what this energy, we were able to detect from it, that the aim of it, of all this dark energy, it was created physically by the way I was living and the way I hadn't processed things, but this energy that had also attached into my field, the aim was to reduce my time here. And that was like, oh, Well, that's an interesting thing, because actually it nearly succeeded, because there was a time back in 2012, I think, 2013, I forget the dates now, where I did have such a low point. I'd been struggling so much. I was so depleted. I mean, it's beyond burnout for a few weeks. This was years, years. If I'd have slept for 12 hours, it wouldn't have made a difference. I was so depleted. It was such a heavy journey. And I did get to the point before I had a massive awakening, was that I wanted to check out. So this energy had been really placed on my path to prevent me from moving forwards on my mission, reduce my time here, reduce my impact here, and take me well and truly off my path, make it so difficult for me that I was never going to wake up to who I really am. But it failed. And one of the messages that came through was that they said, these dark energies said, yes, she wasn't supposed to recover. So that was their mission for me, was to keep me so weighed down that I wasn't supposed to basically live the life that I do now, doing this work, sharing these messages, and doing my part, playing my contribution in assisting humanity, like many of you do as well. So I share this with you so you know that I've walked the path, and also it will relate to you. So we've got to get really smart about this, which is why I'm talking about it, to know what's happening, to start to see some of the things in your life, maybe. I know that some of you might start clicking some pieces in together for you, and to realize that when you've been downed, when you've been pulled down, a lot of this has also been heightened and manipulated by those dark forces. The other thing that's interesting is, often when I work with starseeds, light workers, way showers, a huge part of what I'll do with someone is to help them activate into who they really are, so that they really know that they are here for what they're feeling. And a lot of the thing that affects people like us is this kind of doubt, right? This doubt that comes in that says, who am I to do this? Or am I really supposed to do this? Or, as I've had many times over the years, does anyone even care what I'm saying? Sometimes I'd put a post out or do a live stream and live stream to myself, or, you know, not have many views, or whatever, the way that my mind would perceive it. And sometimes I would think, am I even making a difference? Do I make a difference? Is there any point in what I do? Like, who cares really? But let me tell you, that is just the mind and the limitations talking. We are so powerful. And I'm talking to you. It doesn't matter if you have a YouTube channel with 2 subscribers on it, or if you're somewhere like me where you're getting some following, but you don't exactly have viral videos or millions following you yet. Maybe that will come, maybe not. But wherever you are on that journey, this is really important for you to know. Your impact here is so significant. If you're watching this video, if you're still with me or listening to this podcast 27 and a half minutes in, you will absolutely be making a significant difference. And the funny thing is, these dark energies that attach to our systems, and they've been sent there to derail us, they often know about our mission even more than we do. They can see and they know what we've been sent here to do, that what we've chosen to be here and why we're here. They often see it in my clients, which I think is so fascinating. And I'm going to say it's helpful, because when I've done a clearing with someone and that comes up, I get to say to them with so much glee in my heart and delight, those dark energies know how powerful you are. This is why they've been siphoning your energy. This is why they've been attacking you and affecting you in these ways. This is why you've been struggling with money, wealth, abundance, or relationships, or your health, or your energy, or your block in business and creativity. They know your power so much. This is why they've put in all this effort and time to sabotage you. If you were just an insignificant part of this puzzle and you had no energy and light that was significant, they would leave you alone. They wouldn't be interested in you. And then another thing that comes through these sessions is this, some of the dark energies have shared this, the ones that have spoken have said through sessions that they are targeting, reptilians shared this, they are targeting all of humanity. AI is targeting all of humanity, but they're targeting, guess who they're targeting first? Starseeds, light workers, way showers, because these are the people, you and I, are the people that will activate others, that will wake up other people, right? So whether or not you do it in sessions with people, you don't have to. You could be activating people just by your presence, just by walking to the grocery store, picking up some groceries, holding the light. You don't realize that you are activating other people all the time. You're awakening them. And often it's some of the stuff you choose to say or share or put out there. So they know this. So they are targeting starseeds, way showers, light workers, conscious ones on a mission. They're targeting them first because they're the threat. We are the threat. But I am quite happy to be a threat. This is why I came. And I'm pretty sure if you're listening, you're quite happy as well, because this is why you also came. So let's just acknowledge that. And I hope this is helping you understand and see just how powerful you are. But we've got to be savvy enough to realize that it isn't just all love and light on this planet. And if we just focus on love and light, all will be well on our path, because I don't know about you, but I have tried that. Most of my clients are very well versed in that, but there's more to the story. There is more coming up, which is why we're having these conversations. And it's also why many spiritual communities deny the existence of anything dark, because they are infiltrated. They're being infiltrated massively to share that message, which is not true. Okay. And then the other thing that was removed in this session for me was some heavy, sluggish, and angry kind of residual energy. This was in my sacral chakra that was quite old. So even though I'd done loads of healings, clearings, activations, my God, so much over 11 years, there was this energy, and this was placed there intentionally by another human that I'd had a relationship with before, and there was a lot of hate and anger. It was connected to some of the reptilian energies, and it was causing me to, yeah, just kind of bring my energy down, bring me out of balance, because I'd always found that I could, you know, access a higher frequency, but it took quite a lot of effort, and it took quite a lot of effort for me to sustain it. And I used to feel sometimes, some of you might feel this, that, oh my God, if I have to do this long, lengthy morning routine, because if I don't, it really doesn't take much to kind of derail me. So it was a lot of effort. It worked, but it was a lot of effort. So now I've had all this stuff removed. What I'm finding is I don't even need that big, long routine in the morning. I still do some routine because I love to start my day that way. I think it's a really good practice because of the energies on the planet. But I find that it's just quick, short bursts. I can also find that in the day, when I detect my frequency going down a bit, it doesn't take much to just remind myself with a few thoughts. Oh yeah, I'm a magical, energetic being, and I'm here to assist, and I'm here, and I don't work alone, and all of this good stuff, and it just lifts me straight away. I don't have to. Do you see the difference? I don't have to like do all the hard work. Like I have to journal everything and EFT everything all the time, all the time. There's times and places for that, but my day to day just feels a lot lighter. It's a lot easier now. So, as a result of all of this being removed, this is my very first session back in April, which feels like a year ago. It feels like 3 years ago. And that's not an exaggeration, because what has happened since April there's been so much going on, and we're only August now. But it feels like a different me back then. So, I had all this stuff removed in the very first session, which was incredible. I felt the results of that, and I learned a lot. And I had so after that, we move on to the quantum travel piece, which is where we can, because we've removed heavy, dense energies, and we also do a beautiful strengthening of all the auras, sealing up the aura, making sure there's no cords of attachment in or out, AI portals or anything of that nature. We're clean and clear all of it. When we go to the quantum travel piece, this is where a lot of you will know it as past life regression. I'm not using that phrase these days because it is so much more than that. Because we've cleared and we're in a higher frequency, it's really, really interesting now to start being able to access our multidimensional selves. So we can access things under quantum travel in the current life. So in this session, I accessed something in my current life to do with my family, and it tied up some loose ends for me, which was really beautiful. We can go back into past lives, as in, I'm talking linear, like past lives, as in previous years. But we can also because time is happening all at once, but we can also go across dimensions and have, quantum travel into ourselves as other beings, or, in other dimensions, or on other timelines. I've gone ahead. I'll come back to that in another episode. Ahead on the timeline, we can go all over the place, and it's so much easier to do that and to access that part of us once we've cleared these energies. So it's really fascinating, and then we connect with the higher self after that, and then bring in all this wisdom. We can get questions answered. So really, really incredible sessions. The thing that I wanted to share with you from my one, yeah, I got some questions with my higher self, really, really interesting things that helped me confirm my mission, and some, just some wonderings I had. But I also connected into my Arcturian self, which was beautiful. So for those of you, I think most of you know, in case you don't, I am a channel for the High Arcturian Council, who are higher dimensional beings who are here to assist Earth with, humanity's ascension. And I also channel the High Angelic Realm for the same purpose, and they work together. And so in this quantum travel after the clearing, I accessed, let me just remind myself what was this one, because I've had a few since then. Yeah, I was in this room filled with monitors watching thousands of lifetimes here on Earth. And I was part of the Arcturian Council, and I am part of the Arcturian Council. So it was showing me that, how we think of, we had a life in past and now present and then future, but it was showing me this multidimensional nature. And I already knew this, but it was like having this felt experience in the session. And so I was aware of myself as being there, part of the Arcturian Council, being on this mission to assist humanity. And I'm here in this form, as you're hearing me now, to bring the Arcturian and angelic codes onto the planet to make an impact, is part of my mission, by sharing, teaching, building, creating, innovating, influencing, all of these things, being seen by many, being an advisor, being, working with other people. But also part of me's dropped down here. My essence has dropped into this physical body, hearing, speaking these words you're hearing. But a part of me is also there in the Arcturian Council, and monitoring all of these thousands of lifetimes that I've had, including this one, all happening all at once, and imagining they're on these screens. And it's just a beautiful kind of way of understanding it. It's all happening and it's all connected, and these lifetimes are impacting each other because we are multidimensional. And it was such a beautiful feeling when I came out of that session to really feel that. And I already knew that, but having the actual experience under hypnosis was unlike anything else, and it's never left me. And this is what I love about these sessions, is that once you connect, it's probably my favorite part of this, is getting you into your understanding and remembrance of you being a multi-dimensional being. Because once you understand this, for me anyway, but I think it's relevant for most people, you don't go into fear. You don't have this linear, restricted human way. So many humans, they don't get it. They think, what's that phrase? You only live once. I hate that phrase. It's like ridiculous. It's like, you do not only live once. You only live once. Well, I would have said before, you only live once in this particular body on this particular timeline. But even that's not true, because we can come and repeat it, or we can come and have another lifetime on another part of this timeline, which is for another session. I've got a clip to show you at some point. So that's a load of rubbish, and we've got to get out of this human way of thinking, oh, we live and then we die and then that's it. It's like, that is insanity. And this is the programming that's been on the planet, right? To make that sound reasonable. And for any of us that speak about multidimensional things having repeated lifetimes, we are deemed to be crazy. This is an inverted planet. And I knew that from when I was born, like when I was 6 years old. My book, I've got it here, Above and Beyond, right? I started that book from when I was the first scene in this book is when I'm 6 years old, and I have an awareness of myself as someone who's been here over and over and over. So I never learnt that in this lifetime. I know many of you didn't. And if you did learn it in this lifetime, that is beautiful too. But the point is that we've got to get out of this limited view of who we are and what we are, and know that we are far more expansive. And so to know ourselves as multidimensional beings, it takes the fear out. Like, I don't have a fear of dying. I do not. Like, I'm not saying I want to, like, a long drawn out death process. Done those before. Had those in recalls and hypnosis. I've had many grisly ends. So I'm not saying that that's nice and pleasant, but I'm saying there is no fear of dying, because we can't die. We cannot die. We pass from physical incarnations into back into the energy, the source, and we continue. We just keep continuing. There's nothing that can stop us from existing. Nothing. So when you know that and you really feel it in these sessions, it changes everything. And it's like it hasn't left me, and it's given me this other layer where I've really embodied it, right? Embodied it, where you don't just think it, you know it. Like, I know that I'm here. I know I'm on other timelines. My dreams are starting to show me more and more. Astral travel is starting to show me more and more. My channeling is starting to show me more and more. And I'm aware of myself being in, in the Arcturian Council, on another star system, monitoring all these lifetimes. I'm doing other roles everywhere. So are you. This is not just about me. This is about you. You are also a multidimensional being. You are in all different places. So this is why you are far more powerful than you realize. And the beautiful thing about everything I've talked about, the clearings, the removing these dark energies, entities, attachments, AI, is that we don't remove them with anger or fear or hate or force. I guess force, in terms of we are removing them whether they like it or not, but it is done with love. The angelic realm, the Arcturian council that I work with, they do not remove any energies with anything other than love. And here's the beautiful thing, just to wrap this episode up, is not all of them, some of them will be willing, these dark energies, once we do a process with them and show them who they really are. A lot of them are starting to want to go back into the light, which is a beautiful thing for the planet, not only our own paths, but it's for the planet as well. Because if we take energies from our field that were heavily connected to the dark, and then they are making a choice now, after understanding a few things, to move into the light, back into source, and they can continue on their journey with light. We are lightening the planet every time we do a clearing session, every time we have one for ourselves, every time we undergo this kind of energy. So the planet is lightening, no matter what it looks like, no matter what you may feel right now as you look at if you're still looking at the news, if you're just picking it up from social media, the way that I do, you will see a lot of stuff getting loud out there. But rest assured, there is more light on this planet than there ever has been. Humans are waking up. Humans are getting, really clued up now, more savvy, understanding their true nature. You and I are here to help that process just from our presence, and also whatever we choose to do in the world. So I hope that you feel that. I hope that this has assisted you in, giving a bit of, interest in what we're talking about. I love these topics, but also for your own sake, for you to really stop doubting now the power that you have. It doesn't matter what your bank account balance is, what your health levels are right now, your relationship status, what your business is making or not making, how many people view your posts or like your posts, or whatever your impact is. You are already making a huge difference to the planet. And yes, there's always more, but that's the message that we want to leave you with today. So I hope that you enjoyed this episode. I would love to hear what you think about it, any thoughts. So feel free to pop a comment here if you're watching on the YouTube channel, or if you're listening on Spotify, you can just message me wherever we're connected. I would love to hear your thoughts, anything that you feel from this episode. And yeah, stay tuned, particularly on the YouTube channel, where I'm going to be starting to release now some actual hypnosis clips, so you can get a sense of these sessions. They're fascinating. Some of the quantum travel pieces. So some of these will be things that I've experienced. You'll hear me under hypnosis, or you'll hear me conducting the hypnosis for someone else, but they are fascinating. So I thought, why not put this content on my YouTube channel and start to share that? So that's what I'll be doing. All right, so thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening or watching. And I send you so much love, and I will see you soon in the next episode or wherever I am. Yeah, wherever we're connected. All right, take care, and I'll speak to you very soon. Bye for now.